Hey everyone, Kelly Mahler, occupational therapist, and I am here to celebrate 2024. We had such an amazing year with all of you and have learned so much from our communities. We have a free online course that summarizes the lessons we learned in 2024. So if you want to check that out, it's in the links below. We also have a free booklet if you prefer to read about the lessons we learned, also in the link below. But I'm also going to give a quick summary here of the topics that we've covered and kind of like what I'm walking away with from each topic. So in January, we talked about 30 days of interoception activities, and we launched a free activity booklet that gave 30 activities or interoception building activities. And we had no idea that thousands of people were going to be interested in downloading that resource. It's still available. If you missed out on that resource, again, I'll put the links below. 30 days of interoception activities. We had a lot of fun during this month with people doing the activities along with us. And what became so evident is even though we were doing the exact same activities, we were all having different body experiences, and it really just drove home the fact that we all have different inner fields and we are all correct and valid in our inner experience. In February, we covered the topic of ARFID and feeding differences and its intersection with interoception. And I think I am probably going to say this each month, though we were blown away by the community outreach. This topic really resonated with a lot of people. I joined forces with Noreen Hunani, who is an autistic dietitian, and we did a whole course together on interoception and ARFID. And really what I walked away with from that month, so many things, to be honest, but just how important it is for us to hone in and focus on felt safety around feeding and meal times. That safety, that interoceptive felt safety where our body feels so safe, is where a lot of things can come online. That's where probably our appetite comes online. If we feel unsafe, our appetite is most likely affected, right? So if we feel safe, we might have more of an appetite. We also might be willing to take greater risks and maybe try to find additional safe foods, etc. So the emphasis on felt safety around feeding was really what I walked away with as the power lesson there in February. Okay, and in March, we launched into the topic of traumatic brain injury and concussion and interoception. And wow, like I just walked away from that month realizing we need to do a better job. Interoception is really non-existent in most treatment programs out there, that whether they're working on concussion treatment or healing from a traumatic brain injury. There's not a lot of talk about interoception, yet it is core to a brain injury. That interoception is impacted and it causes things like alexithymia and emotion regulation differences. It really destroys the contact or the connection that many people have with their body, and relying on your body and noticing body symptoms and body signals in your body is not only important to our everyday life, it also is very important to the healing process. And knowing when your body needs rest and when you can keep going, and knowing what's going on in that healing process with the brain injury and concussion. We also know that there's high rates of alexithymia and emotion dysregulation in this population, and the underlying reason for that is interoception, yet it's not being addressed in most common approaches. So we need more interoception in this space, and thankfully my friend Megan Chemdalin and I brought a course together to hopefully conquer that need. All right. Then we moved on and spent 3 months talking about monotropism, masking, and interoception. I was joined in these months by my friend Kieran Rose. We did a course on monotropism and interoception. We did a course on masking and interoception. The response, again, was really overwhelming in such a good way. So many people interested in these topics, so happy that we were bringing a spotlight onto these topics. That monotropism, or that ability to just like have a deep focus into one area is such a gift, but it also, we talked about the costs that it can bring, especially when you're monotropic, living in a polytropic world. And so we talked about like how there is so much invalidation to the processing style that you can start to begin to doubt yourself. You might become disconnected from your body in order to survive the world. And the same thing for masking. Masking many times is a result of that invalidation, of people not understanding your experience in the world, of not celebrating your experience in the world. To survive that, many times people need to mask, which means to dissociate or disconnect or to hide their authentic self in order to get through the world. And that's like very disruptive to the interoceptive experience and the interoceptive self. So there's so many connections we learned about between monotropism and masking and interoception. I'm walking away from those 3 months a much smarter person, but also a person that knows that I have a lot more learning to go in that space. Okay, and in July, we covered the Interoception Olympics. It was time for a fun month. We wanted to have a little bit of fun, and we brought the Interoception Olympic activity cards. This is a set of cards that are available for purchase on my website, and they bring a whole bunch of different interoception activities that have a theme of the Olympics, like the interoception gymnastics or interoception archery. And we had a lot of fun creating these cards, and I know a lot of people are having a good time out there using these cards. These cards are still available for purchase if you want to check them out and have a little bit of fun building interoception while bringing on the Olympic theme. Check out the links below if you want to see more about the cards. Okay, on to our next topic that we covered in 2024. We spent 2 months on this topic, and that was all about Gestalt language processing and interoception. Another huge topic. This time I was joined by my colleagues and friends, Rachel Dorsey and Caroline Gaddy, both phenomenal speech therapists, both autistic, and they brought such amazing content. They designed an entire 7-hour course on this very topic, in fact, and the community was so responsive to us covering this topic and really learning more. This was really probably the hardest topic for me to cover because this is an area I am learning so much about. I did not know a lot about Gestalt language processing until the last few years of my career. I didn't really understand just how much meaning is behind echolalia and scripts in my clients. I was missing so many opportunities to connect with them, to validate their inner experience, to explore and be curious about what it is they were expressing about their interoception experience. And so I'm so grateful and so thankful to Caroline and Rachel for leading this conversation and helping us to all be better in this space. Please check out their course. It is just so, it has changed my practice. And the links are below. Then we kicked off the topic of interoception-based approach versus a compliance-based approach. We explored the differences and the similarities between both of these approaches and how each approach affects the body and the felt safety and how a person develops body wisdom. I'll give you a hint. One approach really is rooted in curiosity and compassion and really seeking to understand and support a person's internal experience. And the other approach is the opposite, where it really lacks curiosity for the inner experience. We're focused on the outside behavior. We are using external forms of control to help a person, quote unquote, behave. There's really no compassion or consideration for that person's internal experience. And I can't leave a cliffhanger here. Okay, so it is the interoception-based approach that is curiosity and compassion, and it's the compliance-based approach that is opposite. We offered a free poster during this month. It's still available if you want to check it out. We've had thousands of people download it. Please post it everywhere. It is really just a starter conversation about, like, am I operating in line right now with an interoception-based approach, or am I operating within a compliance-based approach? And we acknowledge throughout this month, and I feel like we really need to continue acknowledging this is such a big shift in our systems. Okay, systems like educational system, the medical system, all of these systems, parenting, many times are rooted in compliance. So I don't want to be naive enough to say we are all going to wake up tomorrow and be interoception focused and compliance is going to go away. That's not a realistic approach. And so that poster was just designed to help us all take little tiny baby steps towards a better world, towards a more interoception based approach. And then finally, we brought back a topic that is probably one of our most popular topics, and that is interoception and alexithymia. And in this month, I was joined by my friend, David Gray Hammond. So pumped to be collaborating with David. We're doing a live course on December 2nd, but if you're already watching this, then that live course is being turned into an on-demand course, so it's accessible to anyone. And this course is about the topic of interoception and alexithymia. David is an autistic self-advocate. He's bringing his own experience with interoception and alexithymia to the course, but we also interviewed over 20 alexithymic people, and we are going to be featuring their experiences too. There's so many people that want to learn about alexithymia from actually alexithymic people, which I think is really important. So we are featuring their voices, and this course is very practical. So what can we do to support alexithymia in a way that is validating and honors each person's internal experience? So it was quite a year. I have to say, 2024, I learned so much, and I just want to say a big heartfelt thank you to every single person that joined us in this journey. Can't wait for 2025. Until next time.